how everything unfolded.
Understood.
Control behavior also.
She gets a fake ID. I know my daughter. This is her keychain.
She was my best friend. You broke his jaw.
I know my daughter.
I'm trying to help you find my daughter.
First of all, Aneesh, I want to congratulations on this movie. It was so fantastic.
Thank you.
In the movie theater, I was like, you got my tears, and I was holding my hand really tightly. I even hurt myself, like nail scars.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, like, where does this idea come from? Can you share with us?
Yeah, I mean, it honestly came from saying no to the opportunity a lot. We never, Seb Ohanian, and the co-writer and producer, we never thought it was possible to use screens and make something that was like not a gimmick. And I think for us to kind of figure out the right way into the story, which was through a dad looking for his missing kid, I think once we figured that out and tried to make that as emotional as we could, we were like, maybe there's a way to do this that's very fresh.
Yeah, and this idea was like so fresh to me, and I was bragging to my friends about the movie after I saw it. I was like, how can anybody make a movie like this? It's brilliant.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. And can you tell us about the story? How did you find the John?
Yeah, how did
the
we find
character?
him?
Yeah.
We asked, we wrote the role for John Cho. It was David Kim in the screenplay.
Okay.
So it was always a matter of how we get John. He said no at first, but then I begged him, and he kind of said yes after a while. But, we asked him because he's an incredible actor, and I'm really glad he came on board.
Yeah, he was so emotional. He was so in that character. Good find.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, is there anything funny that happened on set you can remember?
Funny that happened on set. It's funny because, like, as the director, I'm so stressed out all the time on set. So it's like, even when things are funny happening and everyone's laughing, I'm just like completely serious face. But no, I think every day there's always such a cast of characters making jokes and stuff. And even John, one thing that we eventually found that was really funny was like every time a slate would come in front of his face before a take, he'd always hit it. He'd like hit it with his head or hit it with his hand, and like he'd do it completely stoically. And at first we were like, what is he doing? And then after a while it became such a pattern that we just like kind of started laughing at it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's odd. I was just like, what are you doing? But then it was just like a thing that he did. And I was like, all right, as long as the performance is like that, we're good, So.
Exactly. And we know as a young director, this is your first feature film.
Yeah.
And it went so big. Also, I believe you got the reactions from the audience are so good.
Yeah.
Even like the scores online are so high too. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't know. It's just been a crazy last 6 months for us. We made this movie with 5 people in a tiny edit room. I'm like the thought that we would even be on Rotten Tomatoes would never have come across our mind. So like, for anyone to like this movie it feels like the coolest thing ever.
Well, for the young filmmakers right now, what's your biggest suggestion, like from your experience?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I think overall, a young filmmaker, I mean, I consider myself that too, is like your job is to make things that are not only good, but also smart. And I think in the sense that, like, be strategic about the stuff that you make. Make things that people will look at, because your job is to get noticed as much as it is to make something good. And I think people often just focus on making something good, but not making something different. And I think different is what gets noticed. And I think, like, if you want to set yourself apart, like, do something that sets the work apart.
I'm Margot. I'm 15. Student.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm calling to report a missing person.
Okay, who is this regarding?
My daughter.
I'm the detective assigned to your daughter's case. I need to know how everything unfolded.
Understood.
I think we're gonna go late, like, all night.
1. After a study session, Margot didn't return home.
Well, I'm so excited to see you because on the movie you deliver this power, like really like a female strong power. Like I really adored your character in the movie.
Thank you so much.
And we all know you from Will and Grace, and you were hilarious. And this is so different from your like the Grace character.
Yes.
Can you tell us about like how you did it?
At its heart, the movie really is about the love that a parent has for their child.
Yes.
And I am a mother of a son. And my character is a single mother of a son. And so that was my entree into who she was and what motivated her and what helped her make the decisions that she makes throughout the course of the film.
Yeah, and that is the answer for what I was saying before. So believable. I was so attached to your character.
Thank you.
Definitely. And as a parent, I want to say, When it comes to social media, what do you learn after doing this film?
I think living in the world of this film made me realize just how much we live on our devices.
Yes.
I knew that intellectually, but I think the experience of watching this film and recognizing myself in everything that was happening on the movie screen,
Yes.
and realizing, oh my God, this is a lot. This is a lot.
Exactly.
And also recognizing that there are just Pandora's boxes everywhere online, and you just really just can keep going down the rabbit hole, and there are people with, you know, ill intent everywhere, and it's scary because you really never know who you're speaking with.
Right? And also the time adds up so much. Like you don't even realize how much the time passed by after
Yes.
you were playing on the social media.
That's right.
And on this film, like when you were on set shooting this film, what is the most memorable thing for you?
Oh, I think the most memorable scene was the final scene of the film.
Which we're not allowed
Yes,
to talk about.
yes. But besides that one, I think it was, you know, we did a lot. He and I, John Cho and I, via FaceTime, and I think it was the scene when I cut him off, when I tell him that I'm not going to communicate with him anymore.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It just it felt like a turning point in the film for me, and for some reason it was a gratifying scene to play.
I'm Margot.
I haven't been able to reach Margot. When was the last time you saw her?
The study group only went till 9.
I think we're gonna go late.
No, she definitely left at 9.
I'm Margot.
Did she mention anything unusual? Was she acting strange?
I'm Margot.
Where are you?
She's been transferring funds for the last 6 months.
I'm Margot.
We found blood in the vehicle.
How did David respond?
These problems usually start in the household.
This movie is so different than the movies you've done before. So can you tell us why at first place you said no and then you accepted?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think I love the script, and
Yes.
I wanted to do a movie like this. I just said, I don't want to do a movie on screens. And so I said no, but it was probably because Aneesh and I were talking on a phone, you know, talking on this tech device called the phone.
Yes.
And we didn't connect, you know, but Aneesh didn't take no for an answer. He wanted to meet with me, so I said yes. We met face to face, you know, and that's when I said yes. I really liked Aneesh and thought I really want to work with him, and I believe in him, and I think, you know, he may be the person that can pull this off. The other thing that he said in the meeting was, this will be a movie. It won't be a video. It's going to be a big movie, and it's going to feel like the story you read. And you know, it was a matter of, you know, it's great that it works on the big screen because we feel all these things, all these connections that we have. We're having this dialogue through the small device, so our feelings get reduced. The movie goes in here and then puts it out on the big screen, and it makes what we feel big again.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about the movie.
Well, absolutely. He did what he promised you.
Yeah.
It's a big movie, and turned out the rating online is so good. I got like my friends' reactions on the movie are really, really like
Oh, cool.
good compliment. Also, as a parent, when it comes to social medias, what do you learn after doing this film?
What do I learn after doing this film? I learned that you know, two things. I'm online much more than I think I am. You know, like those minutes add up, and
Yeah.
before you know it, you've spent hours online. And they just went by, and you just do it all day, and it just adds up. The other thing that I learned was we as a society are much more computer literate than I thought we were. It's like that opening montage, if you remember, like we're so far along in the computer age that we have nostalgia for all those machines, and so all this, the language, the vocabulary of computers is imbued with emotional meaning.
Yes,
you know, and that's I was surprised by how much it meant. All those little cues, the calendar, you know, all those things were meaningful to me. I was surprised by how much so.
Yeah, but all in all, this movie is really going to be beloved in China because you have a huge amount of fans in China.
Oh, do I? That's
yes,
great.
Yes, you do.
She's been transferring funds for the last 6 months.
I'm Margot.
We found blood in the vehicle.
How did David respond?
These problems usually start in the household.
Mr. Kim, is everything okay?
Everything is great. Margot and I are great.
She had cash in her car.
He felt bad about everything.
She was my best friend.
Oh my God.
Told me she ran away!
I know my daughter.
Where were you the night my daughter went missing?
I know my daughter.
Look into her behavior also.
She gets a fake ID. I know my daughter.
This is her keychain.
She was my best friend. You broke his jaw.
I know my daughter.
I'm trying to help you find my daughter.
I didn't know her. I didn't know my daughter.